everybody. We are doing some fun training today. So, if you are here with us live, thank you for being here. I am looking down at my phone, making sure that we've got everything. It looks like we are good to go live on LinkedIn. This is just like kind of a fun behind the scenes little live about how I'm prepping for maternity leave, including training new team members on how to go live on LinkedIn. So, um, thank you for being here. And we are just going to dive right in. It looks like we are good behind the scenes. Tara, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We had a little bit of difficulty just for everybody who might be curious about Streamyard. This morning when we scheduled the stream, which my first whoopsies is I'm my worst client. So I am so annoying to my clients about getting things on this calendar 2 weeks in advance. But when it comes to my streams, I'm not quite as good at planning ahead. And so I've had this tentative date. I had it last week and I didn't end up going live. Which is why I always recommend scheduling in advance, because then it's kind of an accountability thing where you make yourself show up at the right time on the right day. But we were sick and I just was like, I'm not going to go live. And so then I moved it to this Friday and I kept putting off scheduling it. And then this morning I was realizing we need to go live today, and I hadn't scheduled it yet. So the teammate of mine, her name is Tara. She's my wonderful mother-in-law, truth be told, but she is helping behind the scenes and she scheduled the stream. So she's in a different time zone than I am in. So when she scheduled the stream, she scheduled it for 11 a.m. her time, which is different than my time. So then we had to put in the time zone, but StreamYard doesn't allow you to update time zones or times on StreamYard itself. You have to sign into LinkedIn and update it there. So we did that. And then when we went to go live, it actually didn't connect properly. So we had to remove it, add it back into a whole new event. So if you are new to StreamYard, what I would suggest with LinkedIn is being very, very careful about time zones, and then any edits that you're going to make on your event need to be done directly on LinkedIn and not on the StreamYard platform. You can update YouTube, Facebook, all of those other ones directly on StreamYard. But when it comes to LinkedIn, there's a little bit more security with these third-party tools. And that is why it's not quite as easy to update. So when you go to schedule a stream, you have to double, triple check all of the things, and then it will hopefully post the way that you want it to, and any edits have to be made on the platform. So just a fun little FYI behind the scenes that a lot of times is probably one of the more frustrating parts of my job. I've done it a million times. My teammates have done it. Like, it's just kind of whenever you make a mistake on LinkedIn, you're like, oh crap, now I got to go over to LinkedIn and update. So there's a fun behind the scenes. Today, we're just going to talk a little bit about what I'm doing to prep my team and myself. I'm out of breath because I am very pregnant right now, less than a month away. And so I thought it might be fun for anybody who's curious on how I prep my team and myself before going out on maternity leave. So if we want to add in those slides, I have just a few slides that I'm going to talk through today. So if anybody doesn't know me, first of all, if you're here live with us, please feel free to jump in the comments and say hello and let me know where you're coming in from. If you don't know me, I am a live stream producer, and I like to refer to myself as a content traffic cop. So I'm not creating your content for you. It's your ideas, your thought leadership. We're just making it look nice and go to the right places at the right time. So the reason I love live streaming for my clients is that I can actually learn from them versus I used to do social media management, in a little bit of a different way where I would try to create the content. And, like, for example, I did some work with a hotel once, and it was like, I don't know what their policies are. I don't know what they are promoting right now, that kind of thing. I didn't have enough information to really create good content. And so when I found the live streaming, I've really enjoyed that because my clients will just kind of like go live once, usually it's about once a month, and they'll share something about what they do. And then me and my team can either make short snippet videos of that content or carousels or graphic posts, that kind of thing. So it's kind of fun. I enjoy it a lot. I work with really, really cool people and learn a lot of really cool stuff being behind the scenes. So I like to refer to myself as a content traffic cop because I'm just directing the traffic. I'm not really creating the content, if you will. So, first and foremost, I always share like highs and lows of my month. So, October, it's the same thing. I am very close to having a baby, and I'm very close to having a baby. Both high and low of the month is that I'm getting close, which is exciting and also very, it's just every time you have a baby, it's just like everything's going to change and things are going to be chaotic for a little bit. And leaning into that and being okay with that. Obviously, this is my third time. So everybody keeps acting like I should feel prepared. I don't feel prepared just because it's my third time. But I am a little more aware of the fact that chaos is just part of the game, both in my business and in my home for a little bit. It's just kind of like going with the flow, figuring things out on the fly. You can prep all you want, but you know, it's just how it is, and that's okay. So I will say 3 is not very many times to have done this. I always laugh, like, it's like, "Oh, but this is your 3rd kid, you should be an expert," and it's like, well, it's not very many. So, but that's my high and my low. If you have any that you wanna share in the comments, please do. I'm always interested in, where y'all are at and what's going on. So, first and foremost, I wanted to talk through some new StreamYard features. This is a segment that I'm going to do every time I go live. I'm going to kind of share what's new in the StreamYard sphere, the new features. I'm considering Riverside, a like little segment about Riverside too. For anybody who doesn't know, Riverside is another tool. It's primarily used for podcast recording and video editing. It has a go live function, but I personally think StreamYard is more suitable for live streaming. So I've yet to make the whole switch to Riverside. I still really prefer StreamYard and how it just integrates a little bit better with the live streaming. But I use Riverside for my video editing now. So I will use StreamYard to go live. And then if I want to edit videos from that, a lot of times I will download past videos from StreamYard and edit them in Riverside because I really like it. Anyway, so StreamYard features that I am excited about. They just introduced a teleprompter feature. So that's really exciting because like if you're more structured, I'm not using it right now. Right now I'm using the notes section, which kind of just is notes that are stagnant, but the teleprompter will actually play across the screen, which is cool, especially if you're doing something a little bit more structured. I think that that's a great option. The other big update is we can now use Safari when we go live, which even in my course I mentioned that we can't use Safari. And so now that is out of date information, which is really exciting because a lot of people use Safari. And so now you can use Safari when you go live. So that's great. Um, the other thing is now there's bigger text on the comments like that you can show on stage. So I don't have it enabled right now, but when I could do it later on and show you that when there's text that comes on the screen, it'll pop up like I always have a hard time because they mirror Like it'll be like right here, a little box. And when we first saw that, I was super excited about it. I turned it on for one of our coffee with Kim's, and it was little bitty text, and it was really, really hard for anybody to really see. So they're trying to improve that feature and making the font size a little bit bigger and easier to be read. A few other ones that I didn't add on my slide is the QR code. I talked about it last month when I went live. Let me just show you. Here's a QR code that we can now see. I'm always off. That we can now put up on the screen. So this QR code goes to my LinkedIn Learning course. My biggest gripe with it is the duck in the middle. Like we pay for the, I can't remember what the name of the plan is, but I'm on a paid plan with Streamyard, and I always get a little bit frustrated when there's still their branding on paid plans. So I've yet to introduce this like with my clients because it feels a little bit unprofessional to have the duck on screen. So it's cool that we have the QR codes though. I'm excited about it. And I'm hopeful in the future they'll let us put like maybe our own logo in the middle, or maybe just no logo and we just do a QR code kind of thing. So that's an exciting one that I mentioned last month, but maybe if you weren't here, you didn't hear. We can also move the logo around. So my logo is Shelby Show over there, and we can have it there or we can have it over here, which with my painting or my thing doesn't show up very well. So I chose this side, but you can move it around if you want. That's another cool thing. And then in the post-production, there is an option to transcribe your show into other languages, which I thought was pretty cool. So that's kind of the latest updates in StreamYard. I'm excited about a lot of them. There's some of them that I obviously have a couple of critiques, but it's always fun when new things kind of pop up, and we get new updates. So those are the new StreamYard updates, and now I'm going to kind of go into how to prep for maternity leave, what I've been doing for my maternity leave. So let's see. I think my slides have gone away. Oh, perfect. There they are. Okay, and we will dive into, oh, wait, I forgot about this one. AI thumbnails. So if we can make the slide a little bit bigger, that would be great. So these are another thing when you go to schedule the stream on StreamYard, you have the option to create a thumbnail, which I was like, oh, cool, let's play around with it. They use the profile pictures from your connected channels. So I had the option to use my LinkedIn one or really my YouTube one. The other ones are basically the same. So I used, this one is of my YouTube thumbnail. It was super blurry. So obviously I was like, I don't really want to use that, but kind of cool. You can add the show date and time. Cool. And the title automatically adds. So this is my LinkedIn profile picture that they pulled. A little bit clearer, has a weird couch in the background that you can't really take out. So like if you're in a pinch, I think it's a great option. I will continue to make mine in Canva. But I mean, if you need a thumbnail, they have that option. So I thought that was cool. Okay, so maternity leave. We'll just go through like the couple of things that I have to say on that. So the biggest thing about maternity leave, and I was just telling my husband this, is it's like we can plan till our face is blue. Like we can plan. But at the end of the day, there's this huge variable that no matter what, we can't plan for, and that is the child. Because child may be very easy, may be very not so easy, may have different needs, may have may be content to hang out with, well, I'm not gonna let him hang out with my husband. I was gonna say that, but I'm not gonna share, let's be real. Uh, so there's this huge variable, and I want everybody to remember that as they scroll through their little screens and they see all these tips, because I, for one, like I said, I've done this a couple times and I have to like be off of social media the last half of my pregnancy because all of the advice that comes through these little screens is quite ridiculous. And I laugh because I have had two flavors of children and they are very different. And what works for one didn't work for the other. And I'm sure this one will not, like, none of the two will work for the third, right? So just always remember as you're getting advice, if you are pregnant, if you are about to bring a little person into your home and you're trying to prep and think of all of the things that, yes, there's a lot of advice out there and some of it has been good and helpful. But at the end of the day, the biggest variable in all of this is that you will have a child who has its own soul and personality. So I always want to just start out with that because I think we forget that a lot of times. So, number one, I love Notion. Everybody who has been here with me knows that. I've been using it with my team and my clients for about 2 years. I feel like on the internal side of things, like between our team, we've really figured it out. I still feel like I'm figuring it out with clients. It's a very complex tool that allows you to do a lot of really cool things, which is wonderful. But it can be a little bit overwhelming, especially as a client who maybe isn't in there with us every single day working like in that workflow. So I will say I'm using this for internal side of business, not client facing stuff. So, first and foremost, we've made a really cool document in Notion with my team. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. And we have done two separate views. So, one of them is a calendar view, and one of them is a table view. So, this is like the top of the calendar or whatever. And then on the dates that I have certain things, whether that's a live show, whether it's scheduling the live shows, we have a task in those spaces where they need to be scheduled. And then we also have a make this bigger the table option, which will list out what the task is, when it's due, and then what person on my team is going to be doing it, and then what client it's for. So those are the options that we have on the table itself, which is cool because then if your brain works differently than my brain, which of course, like we all have different preferences, or even like with like how you want to just view it that day. You've got the calendar or the table. And then something I wasn't able to really put in the slides is that I also have a option to like create a template. So for example, with scheduling a show, there's a way to schedule the show that would I have a Loom, which another really cool platform. Actually, let's put that. I'm going to put that in a banner real quick. So if you don't know what Loom is, it's just loom.com. And Tara, if you want to bring that on the banner, you can put that up on the screen. So loom.com, which is a really awesome like screen capture tool. Now, because AI is everywhere, AI kind of like will summarize those looms and title them for you and things like that. So with every task that I have a loom that shows you how to do it, and then we'll have like the client specific information. So all of that can be put in these tasks in Notion down here. I didn't want to show you all exactly what, all of our tasks are. But if you haven't used Notion before, it basically underneath that task thing would just have like an open option, and then it would have a page with all of that information. So that's how we're prepping Notion. And we had a call yesterday as a team and kind of talked through, those different things and assigned tasks to different people. So there's that. You have just a couple more quick tips. First of all, I am crazy the last month of my pregnancy. I just go crazy, I guess. And so I always plan for a week off before my due date and a week on before my like 6 weeks, or that's like what's typical in the United States. But other places I'm sure have different maternity leaves, but that's the plan. So I always try to have like a week off before I'm actually due and then a week on before I'm actually due back. And that week on is just like for me to kind of start getting back in the work mode, kind of like start signing back into things, checking up on things. And then the week off before my due date is kind of like winding down. And if there's anything that my team needs, they can kind of reach out to me then. So that's one little tip I found helpful. And then, of course, how to be contacted. Obviously, like you want to just think that everything's going to be wonderful and nobody will need you. And um, that has been, I have an awesome team who really has handled it great. Last time, it was just one person and she did so good. Natasha, she did great. And she really didn't bother me at all, but I still wanted her to have an option to kind of reach out if she needed anything. What we found on our team to be like the most effective and the best option is Marco Polo. I love Marco Polo. I did a post about that software not too long ago about how they are a very personable team. Megan on their team was so sweet and kind, and we've connected on LinkedIn now. But I really like the software, and it is just a way to video message with other people. So we have one that is a complete, like the whole team has access to it. And then I work with a bunch of my family. So I have like personal chats with my family and then like work chats. So if we're like showing cute videos of our kids, it's in one spot. And then if we need to talk work, it's in a different spot, which is nice. So that we can kind of separate those relationships. So that's how we found to be the most effective way to kind of communicate with like my teammates to communicate to each other and then me to communicate with the team or whatever. Marco Polo has been awesome that way. So anyway, I was just planning to go for about 20 minutes. We're at that point. I'm a little bit over. But those are like my quick hits of like what I'm doing to prep, knowing well that there's a lot that goes into this that isn't like plannable, right? So yeah, and I'm excited, nervous, all of the things, but I hope that that's helpful in any way. Um, if you are new to StreamYard and you are trying to figure it out, here's my course right here. See, I'm always, yep, right there. There's a way to switch it, by the way, in StreamYard so that you're not mirrored. But here's a QR code to my LinkedIn Learning course. If you are new to wanting to learn how to go live on LinkedIn, I talk about everything in there from how to set up the stream, how to set up your studio, to how to repurpose the content after you're live, which is where a lot of the good content comes from, is that repurposing portion. I'm excited. 2026, we were talking about this on a call yesterday, but there's a lot of people going live now. It's kind of become a more popular thing, which is good and bad. I think that people are joining live streams less because there's so many of them. They can't just join all of them. But I think that the content itself is being repurposed in cooler ways. So I'm very excited about kind of updating my strategy for myself and my clients in 2026. So if you're just looking to kind of learn more about how to go live on LinkedIn, this is where you can watch me kind of talk all through. And I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that course. So hopefully it's helpful. But anyway, thank you so much for being here today or watching the replay with me. Thank you to my behind the scenes figuring this out with me. And I will see y'all probably February sometime. That is the plan. So it's been a great 2025 for me, and I'm ready to just go kind of be a hermit for a little bit. So Anyways, thank you all, and I will see you later. Bye.